Hey there, welcome one and all to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I am one of your hosts, Morski, also known as Morski, and I will be playing the little lizard known as Hugh script, and I am joined with my wonderful, fantastic friend. So do
Hi.
you want to say hi?
Hi. And nothing else. That's all I'm saying now. I'm RJ. I'm playing um I would say Resident Bastard Man, but he's kind of held up at the moment, given
No,
everything
it's
that's just happened. Um but I'm playing
it's
Decimal.
understandable. Um, well, he's still a cartomancer, technically, just
That's true.
a little preoccupied,
Yeah, a
perhaps.
little bit nerfed at the moment, considering he has to roll flat instead of an advantage. Without his ghost on, he's rolling a disadvantage, but yeah.
By
Um
the power of nice gloves.
by the power of magic.
I'd say
So,
and friendship, but these are just gloves.
I
Um
mean, Hugh got him on his hands. That's friendship.
True, good point. Good point. So I guess with that, so we are not in Toontown, we're in a certain other place.
Yeah, we're on another fucking continent, motherfuckers.
Hugh is so wide-eyed, let me tell you, now that the stress of everything of literally everything has passed, but we're not looking at Hugh yet. How's Decimal feeling right now?
Um, hmm. Uh, okay, so on the surface, 18. All right. On the
I
surface, seems to be relatively stable, relatively steady. Under the
Seems
surface,
to be.
to quote a certain member of the audience, like shit. He can't see properly. His hands hurt bad enough that it weren't for the if it weren't for the magic inherent to the gambit gloves, um, the that would be just even worse. His leg burns. Um, he's stuck in a hotel room in the worst city he's ever lived in his life. It's not great. It's not
Yeah,
great.
yeah, fair.
But unless anyone walks in the room and decides to roll an insight check and gets an 18 or higher, they're not gonna be able to tell.
Well, I guess we'll get to that. Because it's probably right about now that Hugh gets back to the hotel room. Um,
Sure.
I guess it's just literally door opens and you just hear, I'm back. So I guess I'm gonna have Hugh roll an insight.
Makes sense. You have advantage on these anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Saw
Dang.
16.
Dang.
Fucking oh boy. He's not like visibly in pain at least. You hope. You
You
know he's
really
a
hope.
damn good liar, but
Yeah. Hugh's hoping.
yeah.
Mm, kind of a question for I have for you, but Maestrel's still around, yeah?
Yeah,
Uh,
Maelstrom probably went with you. Because Decimal would have ripped you a new one. And then
yeah.
insisted that people don't go out on their own alone, you dumbasses.
Yeah, no, absolutely fair. I imagine as well it would have been like it's been a few days. He actually asked. He wishes to go out and like they need food. He wishes to look around as well. So
Yeah.
Maelstrom gets assigned to him.
Yeah, Maelstrom would have come with you for that.
Cool.
Um,
Um, I guess for funsies, roll me a perception decimal.
So he has disadvantage on these because his eyes are borked. Because I'm assuming this is a sight-based
Yeah.
check. That was a 3.
Uh, oh no. I will say it's kind of a combination of sight and hearing for this one. Well,
Well, we'll take the 13, because there's a sight
yeah.
element to it.
Mm. Yeah, you can't exactly see. I guess Hugh and Maelstrom are too close to the door, but
Hmm.
you can hear the rustling of bags, so you can assume Hugh got some food.
You gonna bring that over there, or are you just gonna torture me with a smell?
I'm coming. Just give me a sec, please.
Hmm.
And there's probably some shuffling, and you now have a Hugh near you.
Cool.
It's probably right about at this point too that like the outer self, like essentially cancels out.
The fuck is your con modifier? It's +2. Okay. Great. Okay, so as you walk
Uh,
up, he attempts to sit up. Keyword is attempts.
here.
He does get most of the way, but you can see he's like visibly holding back uh pain sounds.
Oh. Mm. There, like, you can hear Hugh scramble to put the food down and just, would you like help?
Fine.
What should I roll for this? Sleight of hand? Just
The
like, for
roll
Hugh.
roll roll a medicine check to see how well you can do it without like aggravating the already present pain.
Yeah, because mostly he wants to be careful.
16.
It's
Okay, yeah.
16.
You managed to help him up without making things any worse. Prop him up on some pillars.
Hugh
So he's at
probably
least
pulls
sitting up.
pillow. Yeah, like Hugh probably pulls out pillows from his hammer space because he has a couple in there.
Yeah, or steal them from the other bed or something.
Mm, yeah. Hugh just outright has some pillows and blankets in his hammer space from home. Never took them out, so
Fair enough.
um but you have been set up. Hugh grabs the food. Um he's going to well, he's going to pass over your bowl of doesn't pick his up just yet. I guess roll me another perception for fun.
Is this one to identify the food? Oh,
No, actually, this is to identify what Hugh's pulling out of his hammer space.
okay, this is site based then. Oh, okay. Alright. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's 19. Nope, not
Cool.
wrong thing. 9 plus 10 or 11 plus 10. Not add that all together.
Yeah, Hugh has books. Hugh has 10 whole books even. And you'll probably remember that Hugh mentioned wanting to find a library.
You just get a quiet questioning sound.
Um, well, I was curious about the books here, and I figured if Gray's already working on a walking stick, could make myself useful and try and see if I can find anything to help with your eyes.
Oh. Roll insight.
Dice parser, please be nice to me. Or be nice to Hugh. So that's a 17. We are looking
Uh,
away. That's one.
yeah, you can see, like, he doesn't know quite what to think of that.
There.
Like, he looks almost touched, but also incredibly confused.
It's Hmm. Okay, another question from me, the player. Has Decimal, like, how much has Decimal talked about his site?
Outside of that first little, like, I don't know, but I can't see, everything's blurry, probably not a whole lot.
Okay. Then, like, from Hugh you get, I know at least you still can see, so, I mean, people wear glasses. It seems like you can see things that are closer to you, so like rubs the back of his head. Hope mostly he just wants to try and see what he can fix or help fix.
Gods. Okay. He pauses, thinks about that, thinks that over. Um, it might not work. But if it does, I'm gonna insist they're red. I have a brand to keep up.
Of course. And I think at this point, well, number one, you can hear the smile in Hugh's voice, and number two, you can feel the bed dip as Hugh places himself next to you.
Hmm. I think at this point he does, like, turn his attention to the bowl that you put in his lap. Kind of tapping out what it is a little bit.
Fair. You can like hear Hugh pull over his own bowl and just um. So I saw curry in the streets, and it was being sold in bread bowls, and I never tried that before. I thought maybe you'd like it too.
Roll insight.
Come on, Hugh.
Yeah,
That's 20.
22! Okay, yeah, no, you completely blow Bass's fucking 15 deception. Um, there's there's a strange look on his face, as he, like, takes the lid off of the bowl, kind of brings it closer to his nose, and you can hear him go, I haven't had this in years.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's a he doesn't have the words to describe it, but it's kind of like this you've been hit over the back of the head with a stick of nostalgia, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just gonna quietly note to get more of this next time he goes out on a food run.
Yeah.
You can probably tell it's the spicy kind of curry too.
Yeah, fucking hell yes. Uh,
Like Hugh looking all at over like the curry options and is just he wants to cheer Decimal up, so clearly getting the spiciest curry is the way to go, right? Yeah.
question is, did you get the spiciest option for himself as well?
He may have, yes.
Oh no, buddy.
I'm I'm going to go ahead and roll con.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had Vindaloo, but it's probably about the same level of spice.
I have not, but I can say from my own experiences with spicy food, there was this one time I had this really nice, uh, he actually did pretty good for once. I'm surprised.
You probably, like, take your first bite, swallow it, cough slightly, but it doesn't hit you too
Yeah, yeah, not like brought to the point of tears.
bad. Mm-hmm. Cool. Deathmore also takes a bite, pauses, does not burst out crying. God damn it, because his willpower is too strong. But continues eating.
Yeah, you probably see Hugh pause at times because look, man, Hugh's Conan is a zero. He is not. Despite him liking spicy food, he does not handle it the best. But there is
There's
just
this
this
fucking. There's a pause. He like sniffs the air a little bit and goes, "Did you get the same curry for yourself as well?"
um yes.
Oh my stars, Hugh.
Look,
Hugh.
I was curious. It looked good.
It is good, but I wouldn't force it off on someone who doesn't handle spice well. I'm mildly impressed that you haven't started crying yet, but
Hugh just shrugs and grins. Guess it's the good influences around me, and then immediately takes another bite. I'm gonna roll con
oh my
again.
goodness. 9!
Yeah, there you go. You hear Hugh choke.
Yeah, you're starting to sniffle a bit, your sinuses are getting cleared out.
Yeah, just okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Your mouth is on fire. I
Yep.
feel like at this point, just for the comedic value of it, Maelstrom steps forward with a couple of chilled bottles of milk that they'd picked up. Just holds one out to Hugh.
You are getting a grateful thank you. He's like a little bit wobbly as he takes it. Maelstrom MVP.
Hmm.
I'll roll con again. Um, hopefully this is better. Yeah.
Better! I mean, I'm
Far
gonna give you
better.
advantage, but also that's a 19, so.
Yeah. Milk saving the day.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess there there is a quiet moment as the food is eaten,
Yeah.
and like he will take the bowls when they've been finished.
Hmm.
Like, I guess there wouldn't be a sink here, would there?
I mean, there's a sink in the bathroom. But the good news is, the good thing about bread bowls is you can just eat the bowl. So I assume it's only whatever wrapping that the bowls are held in, which you can go in the bin.
Good point. Yeah. Just Hugh gets that handled, goes back to the bed, and do you want dessert?
What did you bring?
Well, I do have my cookie stash. And let me roll.
Yeah, no, you pull it out.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Yeah. There is a bag of cookies. You can probably tell it's some of March's cookies. Hugh always seems to have some on him.
He does not manage to hide the perk up at the sound of the cookie bag. It's subtle, as all things are with him, but it's there,
Yeah.
and you can see it.
Yeah, no, Hugh is also like, yeah, the best kind of cookies. Just these two quietly hyping up the cookies. Hugh's gonna open the bag. Probably probably place it on Decimal's lap, actually. For ease of access. Think he'd also just, like, since Maelstrom's there, would check if Maelstrom wants any cookies.
Maelstrom would make a negative gesture. Like, thank you,
Okay.
but no.
That's cool. Hey, more for himself and Decimal.
Yeah.
You're, like, just... There is the moment of, two happy cats having cookies.
Yeah. One thing you might not have noticed it with the curries because you were kind of preoccupied by your entire fucking face being on fire, but you definitely noticed it with the cookies. Is um that's more like picks up a cookie, holds it in the palm of his hand, and like uses his opposite thumb to kind of like break bits off and then toss them into its mouth rather than trying to hold it. Um, and you realize now, like, oh yeah, with the fork, he was taking breaks in between holding the fork. You realize probably doesn't have very much grip strength at the moment.
Yeah, fair. Hugh is like thinking back to how Decimal probably didn't have his gloves for weeks and just feels bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Does There's not really much you can do about it though, just oh, yeah.
9. And that's better. Okay, so 19. Decimal picks up on that feels bad man and just goes, this one's just a case of time. It'll get better eventually.
I'm glad. Wanna roll me an insight on Hugh once more?
Another one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's even better. 27.
Yeah, hey Decimal. Hugh
Mm-hmm.
seems to be thinking back on the injuries you had during a certain battle.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Mm-hmm.
definitely traumatized by that. It
Mm-hmm.
does not feel good to when you see your best friend be put in such a state.
Fucking there's a brief bit of, oh, I am the worst person to be doing this. That kind of just flickers across his face. But he will like reach forward, hesitantly tap out your where your arm is, pat, and just go, you found me. I'll be alright eventually.
Yeah, it's sorry, just I can't believe someone would do that.
There's a twisted smirk on his face, but it seems more rueful than cruel. And he just goes, for all the experiences that you've had, you're still a relatively optimistic person.
Well, I suppose I was lucky enough not to meet someone like Lucian, and for all that there is bad in this world, there's good too. I wasn't lucky enough to find people like you and March and like Lynn and Craigery back home.
Actually, that's a point. What? Oh, then in Gregory. I wouldn't want to presume, but I'd assume they'd like me enough to come at least try and rescue my ass.
Oh, there's a pause, and then you see like a look. Oh well, I guess you don't see, but you get the feeling Hugh is going. Right, I forgot to tell them. And there's a um. They definitely would have. Admittedly, on my end, I was panicking really hard, so I forgot to tell anyone anything before we left. Uh, Pieces and the well, I didn't actually see Peace, but Dev's visit was pretty sudden, and we left pretty much immediately. I don't actually know where Blinn and Craigery are right now.
He has gone stiff when you mention death.
Gonna go ahead and roll insight on that.
20.
20.
You can see it kind of written in the lines of his form. This kind of, so she cares enough to try and pull my ass out of the fire, but not to do it in person or to come visit me afterward. Right.
Oh. Yeah, no, Hugh sees that and it's just so I don't know why, but Dev told me that she and Peace are unable to leave Vinequell. I do not know why, and as far as I could tell, she really did not like the fact that she couldn't come herself. So, she found March and I.
Right.
How's Decimal doing right now?
There's a conflicted sense to him. You might actually know this feeling, actually. Um, the warring of, so they do actually care about me versus why aren't why is why don't they come and see me?
Oh, yeah, Hugh knows that feeling really well.
Or perhaps more accurately, why did they abandon me?
Yeah. You know what? Roll me another insight on. You can either roll me another insight or keep the 29.
I mean, I'm gonna keep the 27.
Ah, yeah, fair.
Because I feel like this continues.
You can tell Hugh has a thought. Like you can tell Hugh knows what you're feeling really well, and I casually look over at what happened to him and Tone. And you
Mm-hmm.
can tell her that right now his thoughts are, I really need to try and convince Rosetta to just talk to you, dang it. It's just like Hugh is pretty stubborn on this. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Though I think like with this Hugh just kind of sighs and is, I don't know. Well, I don't know what her thoughts are. I know I know that on Tone's end he wasn't in this circumstance to get for. Just looks down at his lap.
Decimal like just kind of sighs, tapping his hand against his good thigh and just goes, without more knowledge, it's useless trying to ponder the wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's just something for the future. I think then with this, like Hugo, Like, Hugh remembers, right? I did pull out these books with me, and I'll roll an investigation to see if Hugh does manage to find anything useful in the books this time around.
Alrighty.
That's a 25.
25! Nice. Okay. Well, you mentioned earlier you were looking into glasses.
It's like Hugh is kind of looking at glasses, and mostly what he knows is that Decimal has some form of close-sightedness. His eyes were horribly hurt, but he was helped somehow. Actually, uh, so there's a pause, and um, Decimal,
hmm.
do you have an idea why your eyes got better? They're not perfect, mind you, but they seem better now than compared to when there were the bandages. I'm wondering if it probably has something to do with this, so maybe if I can find more in books.
Have you not noticed? I suppose it was rather subtle, so.
You kind of see the well, I guess not see. Hugh has like the
Sense the
question mark.
confusion.
Yeah, sense the question mark above his head.
Decimal, um. Decimal gestures mostly to his face, because that's mostly where the redesign was, and goes, I've been redesigned. When I fell into the harbor, the weave pulled me into its demiplane again, like it did
Oh,
the first time.
um, well, I guess that explains some things. And you can sense you going, oh, okay then. Yeah, you definitely didn't notice that because admittedly at the time he was freaking out and trying to get out of the forest cage and, well, failing.
Yeah. If I fucking send his before and after. Fucking this one and this one. His skin tone has darkened. Um, you know he didn't have that black choker around his neck before. His hair is thicker now. Uh, and there's the aforementioned scars. Seem to be the vast majority of it.
Okay.
Um, and he's still tapping out that rhythm on his good thigh, and he goes, "The last time the weave redesigned me, it was able to heal all of my wounds, except for ones that had already healed. I don't know why this time it was only able to partially heal my wounds."
Hmm. It's maybe because you weren't there for long?
I'll admit I don't remember much about the first time, but I don't think it was much longer.
Hmm. I admittedly at that time I was in the middle of the battle with Lucien, and I, well, tried to get out of the forest cage when I saw you were dropped into the river. Didn't quite manage to. And there's like a huff, and Picnic used to counter spell on me.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I'll admit I was um out of it for most of that fight. Uh,
Yeah, no. That.
Did I hear?
I,
I thought I had thunder at one point.
hey, you wanna roll me another insight?
Okay, 18. 14, okay. $14.
Dang. Yeah, no, you do still catch this, and you can sense like you can sense you wilting a bit at that. Like, yeah, um, I saw what happened to you, and Lucian sure spoke. Um, I got really angry and cast shatter on him. Your you had that ring on you. I don't know the name of it, but it looks like it tied yours and his life forces together.
Oh, did I put that on there? They're called Rings of Shared Suffering. He got them from his patron. You can put one onto a person and then put the other one on yourself. It it, it does tie the life forces together, but only in one direction.
Yeah, it. I managed to figure out what they do at least, but before I could dispel them, were knocked into the river.
Mm.
So Maelstrom did manage to dispel it later, just from Lucian's side. And you actually now sense Hugh brightening up. They did this really neat spell as well. Called out a whole lot of lightning on the guy. I hope I can do that much lightning
Festival has an eyebrow
damage
raised and
someday.
is looking in the vague direction of the corner where Maelstrom fucked off you, so you guys can have this conversation in relative peace.
Just you like I guess if Maelstrom wants to do an insight on Hugh now.
Oh goodness. 1 second while I open his sheet. Their sheet, because for some god's-forsaken reason, I
Fair.
even think I need it. Maelstrom, come here. Insight's +5. Okay, only a +5. I'm pretty sure it was.
Wasn't it like a +9?
No, that was Seattle. I'm trying to remember what fucking spell it was that they
Uh,
used. I think it was Cool Lightning.
yeah, it was cold
Yeah,
lightning at.
Cool Lightning at 5th level.
It was at
Or
like
4th level.
yeah, it was 5D. Yeah, it was 5d10 damage.
Yeah, Cool Lightning at 4th level is what it was. But yeah, even with the mere +5, that's still an 18 from Maelstrom.
Yeah. Yeah, so Decibel, you don't even need to roll to tell this. Maelstrom, Hugh unironically thinks you are very cool with like capital letters.
Blink, blink, blink. Minor confused
Um,
tilt of the head, but a small shrug and kind of just pauses um taps on or pulls out its holy symbol from around pulls out their holy symbol from around their neck. Just kind of wriggles it a bit. You get the I'm not gonna make
Just
you roll
like
insight for this. Fucking they're fully giving the credit to their patron.
that's fair, but you still cast a spell and did everything, and like it's really cool. It's like Hugh with the starry eyes. You're not escaping this, dude.
I feel like there's like a beat as Decima just kind of shoots this raised eyebrow in the vague direction of Maelstrom before kind of like shrugging slightly and going, like, can't say he didn't deserve it.
That's for sure. And that's like kind of said with a harumph. It's. I think the best thing I managed to do that battle was break the enchantment on the studs. For the rest of it, I was kind of stuck in Force Cage. But,
Sometimes in a fight, you make a dumb move. I
yeah.
roll insight.
Oh boy.
17.
17.
There's a look on his face like he's about to try and pull his own teeth. That kind of grimacing,
I can't believe I done that.
and you can see he's trying to figure out words for a second, and he, like, kind of slowly, hesitantly goes, I am glad that you were there. Even if I agree it was a foolish move that you came into the force cage like that, genuinely.
Um, there is a blink and. Oh, it's no problem. Um, probably should have done better, but. Yeah, of course I'd come.
I mean, you did the best that you could. It was a fucked up situation you were walking into.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad we all managed to get out. There's like another pause, and I admit some parts of the battle are kind of spotty to me, but a lot happened all at once.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, shout out to Hugh getting like crit and downed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure if he fully remembers that either. Just by like how quick that all happened. Actually, like another question. Are Cianadel and Cian Kier still around as well, or did they leave?
Cianada would have left a couple days ago to go drag Sion Kier back to their parents, stating that the room's paid for like 3 weeks, and they can stay there as long as they need. And that he'd probably be back in maybe 4 days or so.
valid. Yeah, okay. Um, I think like Hugh's going to describe some more of what happened in the battle. Um, like how Gray managed to pull out the healing spirit and would have like described the little spectral Odino and stuff like that. There's also a pause and like, yeah, it's admittedly we all kind of walked into the trap. I admit I was really thinking about lighting the place on fire, but ended up not happening. We were pulled outside instead.
I mean, I don't blame you for falling for the trap. Lucian's a tricksy son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, was, well, I guess the fact that he had time to prepare was kind of my fault, but, well,
There's a curious sound at that.
um, so when we, so it was first just March and Gray and I when we came here, right?
Mm.
Um, got some disguises because I overheard some talk about indentures while on the boat ride.
Mm.
Um, so we found the Cyanodel, and he seemed like a friendly face, and I was hoping he'd know anything about where you might be, so mentioned your name on the streets and was asking around a lot. Lucian had someone listening, so
Yes. He'd sent Sion Kier to spy on Cyanidel. Fucking shit. That kind of thing
yeah.
can work in Einquell. Not so much outside of it. You need to be very careful about what you say in places people can listen. I don't
Yeah.
blame you for making that mistake, and it didn't do anything. Well, it gave him time to set a trap, but he'd already had a trap prepared for Cyanidel, so all it really did was inform him he needed to expand the trap a bit.
Yeah. Didn't do anything more to you because of it, did he?
No, he'd had his fun by that point.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
beat yourself up too badly about it. You made a mistake, but the only person who died deserved it, and not even by your hand.
Can you roll an insight?
Yes, please do.
Dice parser, be kind, please. No.
Roll again. I'm giving you double advantage.
Thank you.
Because, god damn it, I want this to be seen.
Yeah, fair. Wait, that's the stuff.
17. 17
Yeah.
is the best result. Okay. There is a minor tremor to his voice as he says that last bit. and something flashes across his face. You don't know what it is, but it's not good.
Um, how is Decimal looking right at this point? Because Hugh's instinct is to want and try to hold his hand and just, yeah.
His hands are shaking. Um, he is. What's the word to describe? He looks tired. He does look visibly tired. And there is a slight tightness to his expression that belies his pain. But there's something darker underneath all of it that you're not quite able to put a pin in.
Yeah. I think Hugh hears this, sees this. Um, it's a bit tentative, but you feel a tap on like your wrist. Um, I well, there's not much I can say to all of that, but and like he holds like he makes a gesture like he wishes to hold your hand. Just he's there.
He probably twitches at that first tap, just because hands hurty, but would not object to you, uh, to you holding his hand as long as you don't begrudge him for not like holding it back.
No, that's fair. Like you will note that Hugh is like he isn't gripping hard because he doesn't want to hurt your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I need to figure out what I'd roll for this.
Was he trying to?
Kind of rolling to see whoever he ends up purring on instinct just to try and comfort.
Roll a d2. On a one, it's no. On a fucking two, it's a yes.
Okay. It's just it's just kind of quiet, but like you can feel Hugh's presence by you. He doesn't really know like what to say. And he can't exactly read the expression, but he is here and he is listening if Decimal wants to expand on his thoughts.
Killed him. God, I can't say he didn't even deserve it. Because he did. He hurt a great many people. And I can't even say it's my first kill.
It, well, killing still isn't the best feeling though, huh?
There's a sardonic twist to his lips there.
I sit here and point at both of our boys. You two are so traumatized. Please talk to someone. I suppose they are talking to someone, but I think you get what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
please talk to someone other than your traumatized brother.
Yeah. I can say the good news for Hugh is in he has absolutely made like plans in his head to contact a therapist when he gets back to Einquil after all that he's witnessed on this trip. But I suppose that's for whenever they get back.
Yeah. I think. Would they do this? Apparently they are. Okay, great.
What's
Christ on a
this?
stick, Maelstrom.
Um,
Fucking. How would they do this? Is the next question. They 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 walk over and place a hand over on Decimal's shoulder just briefly to get his attention. And they murmur something. You don't quite know what it means. What languages do you speak, actually? What languages do you speak?
uh, let me double check. Hugh knows Common, Grolix, and Celestial.
Okay, yeah. You don't know what it means. Um, roll. Roll intelligence.
Just flatten.
Just flattened. 13. Okay.
13.
Um, you think it's one of the primordial tongues. There's this kind of flowing, lilting aspect to it that just reminds you of a babbling stream. Um,
Huh.
but whatever it is that is said, um, Decimal just kind of quietly nods, which is weird because you know he doesn't speak primordial.
Maelstrom and Decimal both you can sense like Hugh's curious gaze.
There's an old
Would you
saying amongst indentures. Most of them are plain touched. So most of them speak primordial. The few of us who aren't tend to be tunes, but it doesn't really translate well to common. The closest thing that I can think of is something along the lines of um, something along the lines of one day we will all reach the sky. It's mostly metaphorical, but in essence, it just means one day we will have our freedom, no matter the cost, no matter what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we were able to make glad we were able to make that sync true. And like he Hugh is just thinking of the two people he's looking right now. He is so very glad you're out of there.
I did my research before deciding to try and come back here. Lucian had 43 indentures, not including myself.
Would would they all be free now?
Well, the person the slave studs were tied to is gone. If they can get someone to get them out before someone reintegrates the enchantment to another set, or reintegrates the enchantment to another owner, I should specify, then yes. And given the stupidly high amount of clerics he had in indenture, wouldn't surprise me if the vast majority of them get out, if not all of them. You can feel it when your owner dies.
Huh.
It's it's like a weight's been lifted off. And then another weight when the studs actually get removed.
Okay. Hugh is just kind of contemplative, and it's just his opinion on everyone else, like, likely being freed now is just good. May also just be thinking of when he released when he broke the gears on the studs that Maelstrom had.
Mm.
You gave me a question, but I immediately forgot it. Hugh, what were you trying to say?
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Yeah, just like Hugh, what were you thinking of? Please tell me. I can't remember. Dang it. uh, Wait. Now I remembered. Hmm. Where is Maelstrom right now?
Right now, crouching by the bed next to the two of you.
Okay. He would actually wait a bit then before asking this of Decimal, but like he never did ask why exactly Decimal came back here. Like he figured it has to do with confronting Lucian, but like, is there more to it? Is there anything else that needs to be done?
Um, I'm assuming you wait until like Maelstrom retreats back to the corner to ask this. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Um, he kind of. I mean, he's not really looking at you anyway because he can't fucking see, but he's definitely not looking at you now. And he just goes, I wanted to try and earn my freedom properly. The weave suppressed the enchantments on the studs when they redesigned me the first time, but I could still feel it.
Oh,
In truth, I
there's
don't know what the hell I was coming here for. It was a foolish idea. Immediately after I'd promised her I'd not walk to my death.
uh you know what? So that bit how I mentioned about he would strike purring in comfort, he's doing that now. You can feel him leaning against you a bit and just there's a purr.
He managed to successfully hide his surprise. But, um, there was a corresponding rumble from his own chest.
Oh,
Like, it's hesitant and kind of not kind of quiet. Um, like you can tell he's probably put effort into like repressing certain traits, and the purring is one of them. Um,
yeah.
but hesitantly purrs along.
I will say Hughes isn't the loudest either, and you would have gotten a sense of surprise from Hugh when it happened. It's like blink of surprise and just then, oh, okay, continues doing it. Like does it a little harder.
Hmm.
Uh, Hugh isn't very used to his his cat traits because they're kind of new, relatively. So the purring wasn't exactly a conscious thing.
Fair enough.
But yeah. And I will say, like, you do get the sense that Hugh doesn't hold it against you, like, with the promise and everything. Just, he's just grateful that you're here with them now. You know he really doesn't want to lose you.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely going to be like this for a little while. I can tell you
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah,
Just,
I think they just quietly sit together and purr for a bit.
yeah.
Unless you have
Sib-
anything else to add, I think though. That might be a good place to zoom out.
yeah. Siblings, Your Honor.
They are siblings.
Someday they'll like figure out in character that they're brothers, but siblings.
That day is not today.
It sure isn't.
Die, die. Alrighty.
I think on that note, yeah, we kind of spin off on these two.
Yeah, zoom out. Zoom out on these two sitting together and purring quietly. Probably still eating cookies.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
might
Well,
have been a lot of chaos recently.
Yeah.
But there's some peace now.
Yeah.
So hey, thank you for doing this with me.
No worries. Thank you
I
everyone for
hope
listening.
I hold these two very soft. Thank you, Kraken, for listening in live, and to whoever listens in later, you're awesome.
Goodbye, listeners.
Bye bye.